going on, everybody? This is Mattdoesfitness, and I just got a job helping out a one-armed typist when she wants to use capital letters. It's mainly shift work. Okay, this is my bench press highlights from week 7 of my 5th cycle, and it was pretty decent. I'm getting myself ready for test time, and I don't mean in the classroom. That was really corny, sorry. Okay, so here's the first session of 3, and I went for 5 doubles at 145 kilos, 320 pounds, and I got them. And the first one, and the first couple you see here, felt really, really easy. I mean, I'm very, very pleased. See that one there? It's pretty decent. I definitely had at least 3 there, which at that weight is, you know, it's really good. I think I'm pretty confident now this is the strongest I've ever been bench press wise. My reps and sets and stuff would back that up. I have surpassed where I was in the previous gym, or the crap hole as I like to call it. I've never done this weight before for doubles. I think I might have got it for 1 double, and I've never done it for like a, you know, consecutive, like a sets of doubles. So to get 5 is obviously very pleasing. And like I said, the first couple in particular felt really, really easy. So I think it bodes well. Now, you notice obviously I've kind of, up until the last week, I was doing religiously sets of 5 or sets of 3, so I was either doing 4 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 3. I've moved away from that slightly because I felt like I was starting to run out of progression there, so I wanted to do something different, and also I wanted to lift heavy because obviously I said this last week, but because I want to test soon, and I realised I hadn't lifted more than like what 300. I hadn't lifted more than 309 pounds for a long time, since the start of the cycle. So like we were talking about almost 2 months. So obviously I wanted to have had some heavy work in my system for 2 reasons. Firstly, just to prove to myself that I can do it, give me that confidence. But also just to, you know, get my body ready. You know, so it's obviously, even if, you know, you can be really, really strong with the sets of 3 and the sets of 5, and you can have the potential to lift PRs, but if your nervous system isn't ready, is not used, you know, primed for those heavy singles, and obviously you're going to struggle. So I thought it would be good in that respect as well. So that was the first session, got them all done, and I'm very pleased about it. Then accessory work wise, I tried a couple of different things. So here you can see I'm doing some cable flies with like an upward movement, which is, I mean, I won't lie, they're not my favourite thing. I wouldn't, you know, if I could choose one thing to do for my chest, it certainly wouldn't be these, but I'm all for doing different things. I think the worst thing you can do is always do the same exercises. I say this all the time, you've got to do different stuff. So this is quite simply something that's new to me. I've done it maybe once or twice before ever, so I thought it would be decent to try something new. And to be fair, towards the end I felt some really good chest engagement, particularly upper chest. I did 3 sets of 12ish, I think. And then I moved on to some triceps. I've said it before, my first and my last bench session of the week are always chest and tricep accessory work. The middle one is shoulder. So here I'm doing some overhead cable extensions, which again, only started doing recently, but I do definitely like them. I prefer them to, you see a lot of guys do these, but they kind of stand and lean forwards, but I definitely prefer doing this where I feel like I get more isolation. It's just easier to control the movement and keep your upper arms fixed, if you see what I mean. And there, I think I did like 5 sets. I did like a couple of drop sets at the end just to get some volume in, and they felt pretty good. Okay, and that was my first session. Now here is the second one. So as is always the case, as has been the case this whole cycle, this was like a CNS recovery / volume / rep day. So as is always the case, I did 12 reps followed by 12 reps and then an AMRAP set. And it was decent. Now, shoe connoisseurs / perverts might have noticed I'm wearing different shoes, different trainers. Excellent observation. If you have noticed that, that is quite weird, to be fair. The reason for that is I forgot my shoes. You will, if you haven't watched it, watch my evening of eating from earlier in the week, and I'll explain everything. It's a pretty crazy story, so get a brace for that. Here I'm doing 110 kilos, 242 pounds, which is another PR. The weight's gone up again, and it felt really good. Warming up felt a bit crap, so I wasn't particularly positive, but as soon as I started I felt good. And yeah, I mean, as is the case with my regular bench squats as well, the weight just keeps going up for these sessions, so obviously it's really, really pleasing. I mean, obviously I had the scope to do that because this is a new session to me, and whenever you do something new, obviously you have that initial, you know, series of improvements that you can make, but obviously, yeah, it makes it more enjoyable. And also, I think it's good just to get that volume base in, plus it allows me to work on my technique, which is something I'm trying to improve in my bench press. You can see, I think generally I'm starting to get a lot more even. I'm not bringing the bar up and down at an angle, or as much of an angle as I was, plus my elbows are nice and tucked. Although, interesting enough, I read an article recently about this elbow tuck, and the consensus seemed to be not to tuck too much. And to be fair, I don't think I do. I mean, I think I'm pretty much bang on here. Although it feels a lot more tucked to me than it actually looks, I think this is pretty spot on. So just going to continue doing what I'm doing. Here I think I got 13 on that last one, so 12, 12 and 13, which I'm really pleased. I mean, we're approaching 250 pounds there, so this is pretty decent for me, and I'm happy. And I think, again, it just shows, it kind of backs up my point that I'm in the strongest bench press shape I've ever been in. So hopefully, now I'm used to all the equipment at the gym, it should be onwards and upwards in respect to my bench press. Okay, so accessory work wise, like I said, it was shoulder time. So for my bodybuilding work, I did some seated dumbbell shoulder press. These are 35 kilo dumbbells, which is, oh, awkward cut, which is, what is that, 350, I don't know. It's a lot, but I mean, that's a lot. It's not a lot, but for me, because my shoulders are so pathetically weak, it's the most ever dumbbell press, I think, overhead. And I did about 4 sets and tried to go really heavy. And then here I'm doing some lateral dumbbell flies, lateral dumbbell raises, which I'm a big fan of. Did 4 sets of 12 down to about 10, just kind of pyramiding down the weight. And that was pretty much that. And we're on to the third and final session. So get excited. This is exactly the same as the film Apollo 13, except for instead of using a rocket, I'm using a rack, and instead of flying to the moon, I'm just doing bench press. So it should be good. This session here, the last session, was 4 sets of 5. The weight went up again to 132.5 kilos, 292 pounds, and I got it. Now, admittedly, this is touch and go, but I'm really happy because this is a pretty big landmark for me. When I was in the previous gym, I was trying to get this session with a pause, to be fair, but I was trying to get it for 3 sets of 5, and I never ever managed it. I attempted it about 4 or 5 times, and I would always fail on the second or third set. So, albeit with a touch and go, to get this for 4 sets of 5, I'm really pleased. And you know, on every set, the first 3 or 4 reps were really easy. So it bodes well. I mean, it's pretty funny. What I'm finding at the moment is that although touch and go allows me to lift more weight, I actually feel more comfortable with a pause. I feel that with touch and go, I don't know, when I drop down, I'm trying to resist the urge to bounce the bar, and even if I do bounce it, I just lose that tightness completely. Whereas with a pause, even if it's just a fractional pause, I feel better because I feel like my setup's more kind of solid, everything's more contracted and it's more controlled, and all the pushing is happening simultaneously. Whereas with the touch and go, I think there's far more scope to kind of miss groove a rep, if you see what I mean. But anyway, that is quite an in-depth bench press conversation, which I will save for my meeting with my bench press friends tonight at Chess Club. That's a fictional meeting. It's not really going to happen. Anyway, here's the 4th set. Again, I mean, I think after the 3rd one, I was a little bit skeptical if I'd get the 4th, but yeah, I powered through. What I found was when I I said it a minute ago, I'm trying to keep my elbows tucked, although they feel more tucked than they are. When I do that, when I come down and then drive with my elbows, tucked in, I feel really, really strong. I feel like I can really push the weight up quickly. It's a much better feeling than when my elbows just flare out, because at that point I feel like I've lost it and the bar is going nowhere. So, yeah, still a work in progress, but it's getting a lot better. And like I said, I feel like I've got a PR in me. I feel like I'm in the strongest bench press shape I've ever been in. So hopefully, fingers crossed, when I test, which will be soon, BTW, I'll have something decent there, but we shall see. Right, bodybuilding work. At the end of the session, again, it was chest and triceps. So I did some heavy chest dumbbell press, 3 sets with these big old bad boys, which are the 50 kilo dumbbells, which is 110 pounds on each side. I felt pretty strong there, to be fair. And then I did some overhead tricep work, again with dumbbells, because you get all kinds of stabilizer muscle engagement here. And I'm a big fan of these with a little bit of upper arm shoulder extension. thrown in there for good measure. I did, what did I do? 4 sets, with the 4th set being a drop set, and around the 10 to 12 rep range as always. And that, my friends, was my session, and that was my week of bench press. So like I said, keep eyes peeled for a PR attempt. Fingers crossed I can get it, because I feel like it's there. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, and I will see you tomorrow.